I don't know, Facebook. I don't know if you have something against me personally or what the deal is. It's like maybe Sparkles and I together are too much. I've been told that I'm too much. I don't really listen because I'm going to be myself anyway, but maybe Facebook thinks I'm a lot. And then if I get with Sparkles, I'm even more. That's a possibility. That might be why they won't allow us to split the screen and do this together. Grace Torres from Caldwell. What's up, Caldwell, Idaho? Myself and Sadie and Dolly Girl, we had an amazing time. As a matter of fact, I've got my hat. I wanted to wear this hat. I actually wore this in a live. It's from Jefito Hats on Instagram. He's out in Caldwell. He does all of these custom hats. And I really love this hat. It's kind of badass, isn't it? I'm a big hat wearer, so what you guys think? I love the feather. Just the detail, because each one of his hats is very unique and he does them special made. So this is what he thought of me. He thought I needed a black hat, which that's about right. I'm a black hat wearer. Hollywood said you made this white girl love Mexican life. Alrighty, alrighty. I actually fell in love with Mexican life. When I moved here, I'm Puerto Rican and Venezuelan, and when I moved here in 1992, which seems like forever ago, I fell in love with Chicano culture. I fell in love with Mexican culture. At the time in New York, there wasn't really a lot of Mexican culture, not really a lot of Chicano culture. So when I got exposed to it, and I just literally fell in love. I was not expecting it. I didn't really know anything about it. In New York, Puerto Ricans are overwhelming. Everybody's Puerto Rican, even when you're not. So I fell in love. So Holly, I totally understand you. Okay, this is Sparkles. Yes, Sparkles. We talked about the Homegirls Moving Adelante shirt, and we talked about it being released today, and that it is now in our shop.
Yes, and it's so exciting because we've been getting orders all day, and I just really feel so excited about this because the shirt is such a special shirt. It was designed for a group of dynamic Latinas who were really throwing it down last year, and now we have a humongous group, and they're all throwing it down. So I'm really excited that now this is released so that the public can, get wind of it and start ordering their shirts and start feeling that they are homegirls moving adelante. What do you think about that?
I love it. One of the things I also wanted to say is that we recently, we get, comments. There's always going to be someone that may not approve of what you do. They don't like you. They don't like what you do. They don't like how you represent, whatever. And Sparkles and I definitely have feelings about that. Like, we are not embarrassed to be where we came from. And it took a while, at least for me, to get there. It took a while for me to say, I was raised where I was raised. I was raised in New York City. I was not raised on Park Avenue. I was raised in the Bronx. There were times when I had to fight. There were times where, it wasn't pretty and there weren't everything wasn't fluffy and cute. But I was also raised by an incredible mom, and I had an amazing family, and I have an amazing culture to this day. And I'm not embarrassed about those things. I have great food and great music. And as I've been able to travel the world, I meet Latinos from all over the world, and not just Latinos. I meet people from all over the world that come from all walks of life. And why not celebrate that? Why not be proud of where you came from and excited about where you're moving forward to, excited about where you're going, and be proud of who you are? One of the things that Sparkles talked about 2 weeks ago when we went live was like, if you're a mesera, if you work at Taco Bell, if you work at McDonald's, if you are a seamstress, if you are the head of a company, whatever it is that you do, you can have a sense of pride now where you are standing. Bloom where you are planted. Be proud that you're doing your best. And that's also key. Do your best. Work hard to do your best. Enjoy the life that you have now, because where are you going to go if you can't enjoy who you are now? There are parts of all of our past that maybe weren't so fabulous, and there are also parts that were fabulous. I'm not ashamed to really incorporate and love all that I am and be in all of who I am. I'm 100% authentic. If I feel like wearing a hat and it looks like this, I'm going to wear this hat. You know what I'm saying? And if I feel like wearing it with, some hippie shawl, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be me. I'm not put on this planet to replicate another person's life. I'm not put on this planet to be a copycat. I'm an original. I have elements of style that I take from all of the places that I've been and all of my history. And I'm proud of all of my history. And that's what we're representing. We're representing that we're crossing borders and highlighting the very, very best of who we are as a community, as a culture. And if that involves, going to the hood and celebrating the hood, that's cool. If it involves, going to somewhere spectacular and, very posh, okay, that's cool too. The bottom line is that I am over being ashamed of people or things, and especially of myself. I've come a long way to get here, and I encourage other people to do the same. I've never been more comfortable in my skin, and being comfortable in my skin has not only led to me being able to be more effective as a person, as a mom, it's allowed me to be a healthier individual. I'm healthier mentally, spiritually than I've ever been in my life, and that's because I've come to accept and love myself. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to love myself, be an example of what it looks like to be a woman who's actually gone through some stuff in life and still come out loving myself. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So that's Homegirls Moving Adelante. And if we're too ghetto for you, everybody has a tribe. We're not intended to be everyone's tribe. We just have our tribe, and maybe that's not your jam, and that's cool with us. We're cool with wherever you feel like you fit in. I don't even know if Sparkles is still on. Sparkles?
Yeah. I want to add something, because this is this means a lot to me, Gente, that a lot of the times when people hear the word homegirls, you think of cholas, like active cholas who are still maybe gang banging, doing things like that. If that's the way you're perceiving this, that's okay too, because that is a homegirl. But the way everyone's intentions, everyone's thought life, everyone's ways of thinking are differently. So for us, homegirls means that you grew up in an area where you were amongst your own kind. And you can be, Irish, and you can still be a homegirl from an Irish setting. So it doesn't matter whether you grew up in a Mexican barrio, Cubano, Dominican, whatever it is, it's where you grew up, your neighborhood. So I want to really emphasize that, because it is important that people understand that this is not just trying to put us 5 steps backwards. Far from it. I am working very hard along with Angel to stop stigma. We're trying to erase stigma. We know it's not possible to erase it completely because we're not foolish. But the same token, we understand that it's time for us to gather together, whatever your race may be, and say enough is enough. We're proud to live in a country where we're all accepted and we have our vibe, and that's how we choose to dress or whatever it is. That is for us, Homegirls Moving Adelante.
Absolutely. And a lot of it is letting go. It's letting go of your own preconceived notions. A lot of times, and we've gotten this too, where people say, it's always our kind holding us back, and that breaks our heart. Like, it hurts me that someone would feel like it's more difficult to find the support that you want in your own neighborhood. If that's your reality, then it's time to move and find your like people, your like vibe. And sometimes it's jealousy, or sometimes it's just fear. People want to keep you back because they're afraid of what happens to your relationship if you move on, if you move forward. It's their own fear. It has nothing to do with them being Latino or African American or China or Asian or anything like that. It has to do with fear, and fear is universal. You're going to find fear in any neighborhood you walk on this planet. There's going to be someone that's afraid that if you move on, what it means to them. And when we say moving on, we're not talking about moving on and forgetting. No, we're talking about moving on with the very best of what you've come from. Even if you came from a really, really rough background, I promise you, there are several interviews in our 30 Inspiring Women. If you have not listened to that podcast, do yourself a favor and listen for those videos. These videos are from women from all walks of life, and some of them have had hard backgrounds, but they don't ignore their background. They don't choose to pretend like their background didn't happen. They take all the strength that it took for them to elevate themselves out of rough situations, and they bring that character with them into everything they do. And that's why they've been incredibly successful, and they're able to change lives. Like, they take this recipe of survival and they apply it to other things, and they teach other people the same recipe of survival. And that's what Homegirls Moving Adelante means to us. Homegirls Moving Adelante means we were like-minded. Even though I grew up in New York and Sparkles grew up in LA, we're homegirls because we're like-minded. We're from the same state of mind. And the same state of mind is being positive. It's applying what you're gifted with, your natural talents, and applying it to making the world a better place. We're not just trying to sell these shirts so we can go retire and live the fat life. No, Sparkles thinks that's hilarious because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But we're passionate because we want to meet people. We want to meet people, and we want to change lives. We want to say, you can do this. You can change. You can change your mindset. You can change your physical body if you want to change. You can change your circumstances. You can make these things happen because we've done it. We've done it in our own lives. And that's what we're passionate about. So when you're a homegirl in our book, like Sparkle said, it doesn't matter where you've come from in terms of your zip code. What matters is that we're homegirls of like mind, and we're moving adelante.
There is something special coming on Cinco de Mayo. Well, how about we tell them a little bit about a meet and greet at Dia de los Puercos?
On Cinco de Mayo, we will be in West Covina at Dia de los Puercos. And that's going to be an amazing event. Dia de los Puercos, by the way, is a restaurant that serves all kinds of delicious foods. Dia de los Puercos also has all kinds of vegetables, all kinds of vegan food, all kinds of mixed meat foods. And that is where we're having our big Cinco de Mayo event. It's going to be a meet and greet. Lots of people are going to be there, and it's going to be a really, really good time. So I would definitely recommend you check it out if you can. If you like food porn, if you like really beautifully documented food, you have to follow their Instagram channel.
Okay, excellent. Did you cover the manufacturing, why it was so important?
Oh my goodness, I didn't.
Okay, please do.
Well, first of all, you can find all of this on our blog. If you go to livingfeedment.com, you'll find a blog post about this special day that we had. We were downtown LA, and we were downtown LA for a reason, and that was because we are manufacturing our own tank tops. Now, tank tops have been our #1 seller, but since we started, they have been the most difficult item to acquire. It is so hard to find an amazing tank top. And we did find it, but we found it at a store that we did not want to buy from. And plus we couldn't depend on the quality, on the quantity of tank tops that we needed. So ultimately, out of all the research we did, we found an amazing woman, Sandra, our manufacturer, in the Braun building in downtown LA. So just go to the Braun building and ask for Sandra.
Her last name, but you know what? Because this is such an amazing thing going on for us, we will be glad to share this information with you once we receive our first samples, which will be next week. The importance as well of having things manufactured, not only so that they can have amazing fit for our bodies, because, you know, as Latinas have some curves. Angel and I, when we started living Firme, our number one conversation that we had is that we knew the importance of trying to work hard on helping others be able to get jobs. So with this amazing new journey that we're on, we literally are helping to keep people employed by having them do this work. That just makes us feel even happier to know that we're supporting another Latina company here in Los Angeles, California, so we feel proud that it's going to be an American-made item, but that we're also supporting our Rafa in their businesses and helping them keep money going on for their incomes as well.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I actually discovered that Los Angeles was one of the top manufacturing cities in the country. Doris D actually explained that she was in the fashion manufacturing industry here in Los Angeles, and they sent her job overseas. So she literally was out of a job, and that's how she came up with DX Collective. So we realized that there's a lot of jobs that have been replaced, and we definitely made a decision to go ahead and make our t-shirts here. We know that they're a little bit more expensive to make here, but we feel it's 100% worth it. And that's the amazing thing, that we get to make decisions like that. We get to make decisions that may not be as sensical for our pocket as they are for our soul, and that is fine by us. We have made the decision to follow our spirit and to work with our local vendor. So we're super excited. I know that it's a little weird the way the situation is happening with the cell phone. So on that note, I just want to say, don't forget to check out our shop for our new shirts. Thank you all for buying our hoops. We sold out of those this week. We also want to thank you for just always being so supportive. There are so many of you who leave amazing comments, and we super appreciate that. I also want to mention that if you have a subject that you want us to cover, do leave it in the comments and we will talk about that. I mean, I think gentrification is definitely a subject that is affecting not only Los Angeles and California, but places all over the country. I know it was one of the things that we talked about in San Antonio as well. So whatever topics you want us to talk about, go ahead and hit us up so we can have an open forum and a discussion about these things. And also check out our blog at livingfirme.com if you want to find out more in detail, anything that we discuss. We usually just spill everything on the blog. So on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and al rato.